Thank you very much, Karthik. First of all, thank you all for coming today morning on a topic which is usually dealt by organizations as an auxiliary topic. And I thank CII for bringing it to the mainframe and starting a dialogue at it. So thank you very much to the members of CII, members on the dais and in the audience. I have been given a responsibility to set the context of this conference, so I'll stick to my subject, which is basically aligning affirmative action in the mechanism of operation that we actually function in. Is there really a need for affirmative action? Because I specifically work on both the spectrums, and I see there's a great lot of resistance. In fact, from the lobbies which actually claim to work on affirmative action and don't land up doing so. So in recent times, during my association with CII and the affirmative action core, and because I work in the social sector at large, I've sort of got into a conversation about fate and duty to prepare our nation to not only meet the new century, but to operate in a country which is transformed, which is to a level or to a degree which is seldom seen, has been seen in our history. So much of this change is actually good, but if we look at the change, it's not all that good that we have expected. Therefore, we should try and reach beyond our fears and divisions to a new paradigm. And when I look at this challenge, I actually look at this challenge on two folds. One, to take the Indian value of pluralism and equalistic well-being. Second, the importance of responsibility for doing the same. I'm certainly sure that finding a road to economic progress and solving social problems is not going to happen without getting the people of the country together. To bring them together, we should openly and honestly discuss all issues that are stopping it. One such issue brings us all together this morning, which I will also land up discussing at length, and that is affirmative action. Affirmative action is not a recent phenomenon. It has been discussed of late with greater intensity after Chambers and various other organizations have taken it up as a cause. It is not something that has been born here. Unlike other concepts which have actually jumped from the West, affirmative action was born in the West in 70s, and we have taken it over from them with economic progress. I guess affirmative action also has followed with economic revolution. And today the way we understand affirmative action is that it brings an enduring national purpose and equal opportunity for all Indians without discrimination of any caste, creed, gender, or ability. In this August occasion, I have been given the responsibility to set the context. And if you look at the context, it says, bridging the gap, fostering growth through education and entrepreneurship. So if you look at the first line, it says bridging the gap, which tells me that all of us in this room agree on one principal fact: there exists a gap. So we have to principally agree, yes, we are ready to discuss, but there exists a gap. Now if you look at the first agenda, it says through education. I realize education is one of the most important core pillars of societal development. And if this pillar of nature is compromised, the very growth of the society through its minds gets sabotaged. Affirmative action plays a very crucial role in setting up policies and systems, but even minds which are more stronger to implement such policies and systems. We commonly understand in this educational sector affirmative action as reservation. However much it is debated today, we cannot deny that even this required legislative action, executive action, and pressure from various other quarters. The second one is entrepreneurship. Now this is pretty interesting. We claim that India is all set to become the entrepreneurial capital of the world in the next few years. At least we are claiming to move in that direction. But is this whole transformation an entrepreneurial mechanism leading towards holistic growth? Prominently at this time when we are looking at setting up of skilled initiatives and trying to make this country a startup capital of the world. I specifically delve into my thoughts whether equal opportunities have been given to every individual and every man standing on the line till the last man standing. Affirmative action is more solidly required to make sure nobody standing on the line is discriminated and should have got equal opportunities for evaluation. The atmosphere has to be conducive for common growth and inclusivity. Like India, where a large percentile of population is discriminated till date on the basis of caste, creed, gender, and disability. For me, entrepreneurship gives them all The very fundamental of entrepreneurship is to give an equal opportunity for everyone to play around and take their share of transformation of ideas into reality. The question now needs to be defined by all of us, whether it's corporations, you, me, individuals, at society at large, is how do you measure growth? Because the whole story around this country today and for the last 20 years has been the growth story. Growth cannot be absolute in nature and should not be restricted to the increase and decrease in GDP as considered in the corridors of the powers. When we look at growth, I personally look at 40% people in this country still going hungry every single day to bed. And we define growth by our so-called quarterly results. We need to delve into our thoughts and find out if this is the kind of growth that we are actually going to look at. Let me also throw some light on the legislative action of the government. I congratulate the previous and the current governments for bringing the corporate social responsibility in the Companies Act and mandating the complete procedure of social accountability contributions. In fact, this is one of the few occasions where I feel proud to share the dais, although I challenge my competence to share the dais with one of the architects who have been involved, Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, in getting that act together and pushing the legislation to come on board. It has given an opportunity, a window for all of us to look at whether we can actually look at corporate social responsibility and aligning affirmative action within the corporate social responsibility mandate. Well, now the decision has to be taken by the boards. But once the law is there, you have to do it. So one of the ways that we promote is that if you can actually look at affirmative action being embedded within the corporate social responsibility mechanism while doing your assessments and beneficiary assessments on the ground. As a private sector, we cannot deny our responsibility in making the contributions to bridge this very gap. There are various ways and mechanisms to do it. Some of the companies have already initiated and have been going on times immemorial. Tata's are one such company which has been into the affirmative action core for a long period of time now. The private sector, with its expertise and professionalism, can enforce this principle very strongly. I do not see a reason why any individual standing in the line does not get aligned with the economic progress of the country if affirmative action is not only taken up to the policy level, but taken to the last man of the pyramid, to the bottom of the pyramid for its implementation. The very effect is the discussion that we have all gathered here today. It cannot be denied that more is required to open the door of opportunities for everyone in this country. The search for a faster and an inclusive and a harmonious way to reach to this door leads us to affirmative action. In the flight of the future, we need all hands on deck. Some of these hands need our helping hands. It is easy for us to forget the ideals that our forefathers set us for this development agenda, to make this country more pluralistic, inclusive. But we should not forget that following those policies or striving to follow these policies have made us stronger, better, and richer every single day. Even if we have done good and we are striving for better, ladies and gentlemen, I would conclude by saying that the best is yet to come. Thank you.